there, St. Luke's. It's good to be back with you all for this midweek message. I'm actually sitting here on Wednesday, August 21st, a little bit before noon, bringing you this little reflection and some announcements. Your clergy are headed off to a short sort of clergy retreat that we started last year, just to sort of take a moment to pray and to sing and to consider the year ahead of us from your clergy's perspective with our families, and get prepared, get ready for all of the exciting things that we have going on, the various Bible studies and Alpha and the speaking series, and of course the Sunday weekly worship, and also on Wednesdays we're looking at pastoral counseling. We've got a couple of weddings. We're of course going to be continuing to reinforce the limb ministry, and looking forward to just all of the various exciting things going on. And so we take a deep breath. We go away as Jesus instructed us and is modeled in himself to detach, to pray, and to sort of gird up our loins, as it were, for the task ahead. So let's pray for us. Pray that we're sort of still bringing the Rogers family along with us, and so we're praying for deepening relationships there. We are continuing to sort of settle in as a clergy team, and we're just so grateful for not just the clergy but the whole staff that we have here assembled at St. Luke's. And it's just a wonderful, again, the imagery of a ship is always right first and foremost in my mind when I think of the church. And so to think of being the captain and having such able-bodied staff and lieutenants and first mates and all the various people that go to making this church run is just a joy. It really is a joy. I feel like perhaps like a conductor for a famous Philharmonic orchestra or whatever, or the driver of a sort of exotic automobile that would just move at your every beck and call. And so I sort of feel like this with this amazing staff the Lord has assembled here, that whether it's through the care of the sick and needy, whether it's through the preaching, teaching ministry of the church, whether it's through the care and oversight of the children, whether it's through the beautification of our sanctuary, the taking care of our physical plant, the teaching of our young children in the preschool, whether it's through the service of the altar guild, or of the quality of the ushering, through the wonderful bell ringing, all the things together. And I'm sure I missed something. I didn't write any of that down, so I'm sure I missed someone. But suffice it to say, we are striving for excellence, and we are striving to submit all of the work of our hands and our lives, for that matter, through the work of the church, to the glory of God and for His renown. And so, so I'm excited. It's a wonderful joy, and I wake up and I look forward to Sunday worship, not just as the priest, but also as a participant throughout the entire week. It remains the moment where reset, rescheduled, restored, reset, sort of reprovision, lots of things, and sent back out to love and serve the Lord. So that's an exciting thing to be a part of, and I hope that you are feeling something of that excitement. I look around and I see new faces. I see old faces that have been rejuvenated. I see more people singing. This is particularly the 8 o'clock. I know there hadn't been music there for a long time, but we're going to push on through singing psalms and spiritual songs, as we heard read in our reading from Ephesians 4 last week. And so we're going to continue to do the work of ministry, to equip the saints for the work of ministry, so that you would be more confident, more comforted, and more strengthened for the walk ahead, because the walk has been promised to us as being fraught. Yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that has been given to us. We hear David write in Psalm 23, yet we fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. This is the juxtaposition of the sort of straightforward, unflinching look at the reality of living life in a sinful world. We are those people. I was just talking to a pre-marriage counseling couple that I was going through. We do not write our own vows, because invariably they will not be as profound enough as what the Bible has revealed to us life really will be about. Namely, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, for in sickness and in health, till death do we part. We do not. If you watch some of those wedding shows, which I used to watch, sort of as a market analysis, you would see the vows written were always so superficial, because that unless you have been brought to see the depth of your own need through the power of the Spirit, by the power of the Spirit through faith, you see in the cross your salvation, well, then you are going to, as it were, turn your eye from the actual reality of life, which is a battle, and is a walk of suffering, but yet it's redemptive suffering for the Christian. This is what the promise is, that Jesus says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. And if I hadn't seen this, I hadn't lived it, if I didn't believe it, wouldn't preach it, certainly. I certainly would be in a different career and probably have a much different sort of outlook on life, worldview, for lack of a better word. But thank God, he has seen in his providence to save me, as Paul says, to open the eyes of my heart, of our hearts. Through the preaching of his word, he brings his sheep to hear his voice, and his sheep are then fed. And what they eat, as we have heard through John the past couple of weeks, is nothing less than his own body and blood for the sake of their souls. This is my body of the new covenant. This is my this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. This is what we are offering for the world. So, suffice it to say, I get fired up about this, but I'm grateful for all of the many resources, blessings, people, and that have been brought to bear for the work of ministry here at St. Luke's. So thanks be to God. So I just have a few announcements for you all. One of them is that we are still gearing up for our September 8th volunteer ministry fair, and so please stick around after the 10:30 service, and we are going to have our ministry fair and barbecue. The Hog Heaven guys have graciously offered to cook food for us, which is amazing. We are so grateful for them. We're going to have a time of fellowship. There's going to be a delicious barbecue lunch, and you can learn all about the various ways you can get involved in St. Luke's. And so please consider sticking around for that on September 8th. As always, we have a number of things starting up after Labor Day, the week following Labor Day week, beginning September 16th with Alpha on a Monday night. And then we have our beginning of our parish-wide Bible study on Genesis on the 18th of September. So that seems like maybe a long way away. It's a couple of weeks, but it's really not. So we would love for you to sign up, give us a call, and please join us in those studies. We are also continuing. We really have sort of a desperate need, I would say, a desperate need for help with our youth and family and with respect to volunteers. There has been an overhaul in what is called the safeguarding protocols for our diocese, which is just a reflection of kind of the modern world and some of the challenges and frankly, dangers that are out there. So what that means is that we are going to need more volunteers, and the volunteers are going to have to be better trained than they ever have been before. Now, don't be afraid. It's not super onerous, but it is something more than just showing up sort of unannounced as a sort of youth or child volunteer. And so we really need your help. As I said last week in the Midweek Message, and as I will continue to say, we need help in the nursery, all the way from nursery through high school. We need you to come alongside our youth and family. We don't have we don't have massive amounts of youth and children, but we have sufficient, and they have needs. And so I'm speaking desperately as not only the priest, but as a father who wants there to be a godly and faithful nursery, a godly and faithful preschool ministry, and all the way up through high school and beyond. So please consider, I'm asking you to pray about this, that the Lord would put a burden, as the old Puritans would say, on your heart for the next generation of Christians, and you would come alongside our most able ministers. We're so grateful for Jacob Rogers and Amy Reese in particular, but all of their team. We're so grateful for them, and we need you to come alongside to help us. So please consider to pray for that, and consider coming along. All of these things can be found in the e-zine, in your bulletin, which you can take home and download. And please, if you have any interest in participating in any of these things, please call the office, and we will make sure that you get all the information you need. Okay, finally, we had a special announcement from June Smith, who's one of our missionaries who's moved back home, but she is still involved in her mission work through the Navigators. And she is asking us, and you will hear this directly from her, to host an international student during the week of Thanksgiving. There's sort of a program that goes on, but these international students are not able to go home. And of course, most countries don't celebrate Thanksgiving except for us. And so please, you'll hear more about it. And during the week of Thanksgiving, we need some people to host these students. So if you've ever this is a very easy way to begin to sort of exercise your muscles of hospitality and self-sacrifice, because if you are beginning to show the love of Christ to others by opening your home, sharing a meal, and giving of your resources in this way, it is a guarantee to have return a blessing on you, to be a witness and a light to Christ in the midst of this. So there'll be more information about this forthcoming, but I wanted just you to start thinking about possibly hosting an international student during the week of Thanksgiving if you're going to be around and you have space, because it would be a wonderful way to to show the love of Christ and also to do, as we say, the work of ministry in the world. So, but don't take it from me, take it from June. But until I see you again on Sunday, by God's grace, pray for us, pray for St. Luke's, and take care and God bless. But before that, one more announcement, which I almost forgot. There's going to be a meeting speaking of our youth, Father Jacob is going to be convening our youth on Monday night, or September 26th. So that's just this next coming Monday, in the M&M building at 6 o'clock. And so please, if you are a youth, or you know a youth, or you, then please, I'm just double checking the announcements just to make sure I'm saying this correctly. But we are going to have, our youth meeting at 6 o'clock, September 26th, in the M&M building. Okay, now, take it away, June.
I am so grateful for St. Luke's prayers and supports for my ministry and family since 1996. At some point, I'll look forward to filling you in on the ministry, but at this time, I am very excited to share with you a tremendous opportunity that we have at St. Luke's to reach the nations in our own homes this Thanksgiving. St. Luke's will be hosting international students from the University of South Carolina over their Thanksgiving break, and we are asking for some host homes. The students can spend Thanksgiving either with their host home or with another host. And we will plan activities for them the other couple of days. We mainly want to give you the opportunity to show the love of Christ through hospitality, and we will take care of all the details. These international students are primarily PhD students who have gone through a rigorous selection process to come to the U.S. Most of them will go back to their home countries and be leaders. Unfortunately, only about 25% of them ever get invited into a home during the time in the U.S. Many of them come from countries where the gospel is not freely shared, and they're coming to us. So just think about this opportunity that we have to reflect Christ to them, and as God allows us, share the truths about the gospel. Holidays are a tremendous time to invite students into our homes, and because they have one of their short breaks, they work very hard, and they also want to see other places. We know that you will be a blessing to them, and they will be a blessing to you as well as you learn about their culture and their home country. So please contact me, June Smith, for more information. There's also information on the St. Luke's website with the schedule and other details. I really look forward to seeing what God has in store for all of us at St. Luke's as we connect with international students.